Plot: a renowned pianist named Daniel returns to his hometown after the death of his estranged father. In the old family mansion, he discovers a hidden room filled with letters and sheet music. As Daniel plays the forgotten compositions, he starts hearing whispers and seeing visions of his father's past, revealing a secret love affair and a dark betrayal. Daniel must piece together the mystery through the music and letters to understand his father's life and forgive him. Silent whispers. The train pulled into the small station with a screech, and Daniel Clark stepped onto the platform, the cool autumn air biting at his skin. He hadn't been back to his hometown in over a decade, not since he had left to pursue his dream of becoming a concert pianist. Now, he was back, summoned by the news of his father's death. The town of Hollow Creek was nestled in the rolling hills of New England, a place where the past seemed to linger in every shadow. As Daniel walked through the familiar streets, memories flooded back, some sweet, others tinged with bitterness. His relationship with his father, Edward Clark, had been strained for as long as he could remember. Edward had been a strict and distant man, more interested in his own pursuits than in his son's ambitions. The Clark mansion stood at the edge of town, a grand but decaying structure that loomed over the landscape. Daniel approached the house with a mix of dread and curiosity. The lawyer had told him that his father had left everything to him, including the house and its contents. What secrets did this old mansion hold? Inside, the house was just as he remembered it, dark, cold, and filled with the scent of old wood and dust. The furniture was covered in white sheets, and the air was thick with silence. Daniel made his way to the study, where his father had spent most of his time. The room was lined with bookshelves, and an old piano stood in the corner, its keys yellowed with age. As Daniel explored the house, he stumbled upon a hidden door behind a large bookshelf. The door creaked open to reveal a small, dimly lit room. Inside, he found stacks of letters and sheet music scattered across a large wooden desk. Curiosity piqued, Daniel sat down and began to read. The letters were addressed to his father, written by someone named Eleanor. They spoke of a deep and passionate love, of secret meetings and stolen moments. As Daniel read, he realized that Eleanor had been his father's lover, a woman he had never known about. The letters were filled with longing and sorrow, hinting at a tragic end to their relationship. Daniel turned to the sheet music, his heart pounding. The compositions were beautiful, haunting melodies that seemed to echo the emotions in Eleanor's letters. He sat down at the old piano and began to play. As his fingers danced over the keys, the music filled the room, and something extraordinary happened. He started to hear whispers, soft and indistinct at first, but growing clearer with each note. The room seemed to come alive with the presence of the past. Daniel saw visions of his father and Eleanor, their love affair unfolding before his eyes. He watched as they met in secret, their faces lit with joy and pain. He saw his father's struggle, torn between his duty and his heart. The music told a story of love and betrayal, of dreams shattered and promises broken. Daniel felt a deep connection to the music and the people it spoke of. He realized that his father had used the compositions to express the emotions he could never voice, to immortalize a love that had been lost. As the days passed, Daniel immersed himself in the letters and the music, piecing together the fragments of his father's past. He discovered that Eleanor had been a talented singer, but her career had been cut short by scandal. She had fallen in love with Edward, a young composer at the time, and their affair had been passionate but doomed. Society's harsh judgment had forced them apart, and Eleanor had left, disappearing from Edward's life forever. Daniel felt a growing sense of empathy for his father. He understood now why Edward had been so distant, so consumed by his own inner turmoil. The music was a testament to the love he had lost, a way to keep Eleanor's memory alive. Daniel's heart ached for the father he had never truly known, for the pain and regret that had shaped his life. One evening, as Daniel played a particularly haunting piece, the whispers grew louder, and he saw a vision of his father sitting at the piano, his face etched with sorrow. Edward looked up, his eyes meeting Daniel's. "Forgive me," the apparition seemed to say, the words echoing in Daniel's mind. Tears streamed down Daniel's face as he played the final notes. He felt a sense of release, of understanding. He knew now that his father had loved deeply, had suffered, and had tried to find solace in his music. The anger and resentment that had clouded Daniel's heart began to fade, replaced by compassion and forgiveness. Determined to honor his father's memory, Daniel decided to perform the compositions publicly. He wanted to share the beautiful music and the story behind it with the world. He organized a concert in the town's old theater, inviting the townspeople and music lovers from afar. On the night of the concert, the theater was filled with people, the air buzzing with anticipation. Daniel took the stage, the letters and sheet music laid out before him. He spoke briefly about his father, about the love and loss that had inspired the music. Then, he began to play. The melodies flowed from the piano, filling the theater with their haunting beauty. As Daniel played, he felt the presence of his father and Eleanor, their spirits intertwined with the music. The audience was captivated, moved by the powerful emotions conveyed through the notes. When the final piece ended, the theater erupted in applause. Daniel stood, his heart full, and took a deep bow. He knew that he had done something important, something meaningful. He had given voice to his father's silent whispers, had brought their story to light. After the concert, as the audience filed out, an elderly woman approached Daniel. She had tears in her eyes and a soft smile on her lips. "Thank you," she said, her voice trembling. "Eleanor was my mother. I never knew the full story of her love for your father. You've given me a gift tonight, a piece of my mother I thought I had lost forever." Daniel was deeply moved. He embraced the woman, feeling a profound sense of connection and closure. The concert had not only honored his father's memory but had also brought healing to those touched by the story. In the months that followed, Daniel stayed in Hollow Creek, working to restore the old mansion and turning it into a museum dedicated to his father's life and music. The house became a place where people could come to learn about Edward Clarke's compositions and the love that had inspired them. Daniel continued to perform his father's music, sharing the beautiful and haunting melodies with audiences around the world. He felt a deep sense of purpose, knowing that he was keeping his father's legacy alive, preserving the silent whispers that had shaped his own life. Through the letters and the music, Daniel had found a way to bridge the gap between the past and the present, to heal the wounds of his own heart and honor the memory of a love that had transcended time. And in doing so, he discovered a new sense of peace, a deeper understanding of himself and the power of forgiveness. The Clark Mansion stood as a testament to the enduring power of love and music, a place where the past and present converged, and where the silent whispers of a father's heart could finally be heard.